Oh, hi, everybody. Gosh, I've missed them. Haven't you, Hoda? Everybody watching Today all day?
They look so good. They look rested. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hey,
I know, me too.
You guys are watching our digital show. It's called Today in 30. We've got a lot to cover. SG, should we get started?
Let's get it going. First up, Richard Branson back on Earth today after that big space adventure. His company, Virgin Galactic, launched him and 5 other crew members from a desert in New Mexico to the edge of space, just over 53 miles high up in the air. Our Tom Costello caught up with him after that flight. You don't want to miss their exclusive sit-down. Actually, he jumped up on the couch like Tom Cruise. It was kind of amazing.
Yeah, that was a moment.
And then, remember when we sat down, we had a little get-together, Team Today meetup at our favorite places. One of the favorite restaurants we go to, the Scottos. We reflected on the past year. We talked about some of the lessons learned along the way. It was so fun to be together, breaking bread outside of the studio.
Oh, that was a blast. And also, SG, guess who we caught up with in the 4th hour?
Who?
The one, the only, John Stamos.
Ooh.
We love us some John Stamos. He's got a new podcast. I know, right? If you're a fan of true crime, though, you're going to love this. Babe, that's what you say. I say Stamos, you say babe. All right, are you ready?
Well,
because it's
80s Savannah thinks babe.
I think 2021 thinks babe, too. All right, it's time for Today in 30.
Let's go.
We are going to begin with that historic space flight and billionaire Sir Richard Branson making history. His company, Virgin Galactic, launching him and 5 other crew members from a New Mexican desert to the edge of space, just over 53 miles high.
Our Tom Costello has been following this so-called battle of the space billionaires. He joins us from New Mexico with more and a big exclusive sit-down. Hi, Tom. Good morning.
Hey, guys, good morning. Spectacular day, beautiful day, and great success. Sir Richard Branson, officially now the first name in the new chapter in a new book about space travel for everyday Americans. They hope, anyway. He and Virgin Galactic soaring 53 miles up, with the military and NASA say is, in fact, the edge of space. And Branson is hoping it opens the door for a whole new journey in space travel.
Release, release, release.
This morning, the space race between billionaires has a winner.
That is a full duration burn, folks. We are headed to space.
Blasting off 46,000 feet above the New Mexico desert on Sunday at speeds over 2,300 miles per hour. Sir Richard Branson and a crew of 5 others aboard Virgin Galactic's Unity spaceship, soaring to the edge of space.
Welcome to Space, Unity 22.
The journey, 17 years in the making, and a lifelong dream for Branson.
I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship.
Their flight reaching 53.5 miles high, affording the crew roughly 4 minutes of weightlessness and a truly out-of-this-world view before descending and returning home.
It's a complete experience of a lifetime. And now I'm looking down at a beautiful spaceport.
More than an hour after takeoff.
And there is full stop.
A moment to rejoice.
A perfect landing.
Followed by triumphant celebration back on Earth. We spoke exclusively with Branson and his children, Holly and Sam.
Sir Richard, congratulations. How are you?
I will come down with a bump soon.
Did it live up to your expectations and your hopes?
I've always dreamt about what it would be like to be in space looking back at this incredible Earth. It's impossible to describe just how magnificent it is.
The entrepreneur adding a new title to his resume, civilian astronaut, and he has the hardware to prove it.
Show us the wings. You worked hard for these.
I'm afraid nobody will ever be able to take them away from us. Once you're an astronaut, you're always an astronaut.
His excitement uncontainable.
I've got to show it off.
For Branson's family, it was nerves that were sky high.
I don't think I would be a loving son if I wasn't worried.
I knew fundamentally they were going to come back, but it's quite hard when your dad's going to do something so pioneering that no one else has really done.
I only did it to see whether she loved me.
Virgin Galactic's first full passenger test flight comes just 9 days before Jeff Bezos is expected to climb inside his Blue Origin rocket. The Amazon founder congratulating his competitors, adding, "Can't wait to join the club."
I hope that he has an extraordinary experience as we do.
Things are looking great.
Now a new goal, cutting down that $250,000 price tag for a ride. Doing so could make space tourism a possibility for the masses and allow everyone to see the world from this new perspective.
To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. Yay!
Yeah, so if you can't afford the $250,000 price tag, Virgin Galactic now announcing that it is partnering up with a platform called Amaze, the fundraising platform, and launching a sweepstakes. 2 tickets to the edge of space, and he will take you himself on a tour through the entire operation on the ground, then launch you up to the edge of space. Kind of fun. Guys, back to you.
All right. Well, Tom, you mentioned Jeff Bezos obviously also planning to go to space. What more do we know about that flight and the timeline?
Yeah, so Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos set to take off on July 20th. They're still waiting for FAA approval for that flight. Virgin got approval 2 weeks before their flight. I'm told that they could get, from FAA sources, they could get that approval very soon in the next couple of days.
All right. We'll be watching. Tom, thank you very much.
We are back with Summer on today. Carson's here. We didn't know it, but the last summer we started a tradition, and we did it right smack in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah. You know, most of us obviously were still working remotely because of social distancing. We hadn't seen each other in person at that point for months. That is until we reunited outside in a colleague's backyard to check in on how we were all doing.
Yeah, well, it's been exactly a year since that reunion, and we decided, well, let's get together again and reflect on our experiences. Guys, let's raise a glass.
Yes.
Yes, to summer.
To all of us.
So 1 foot
Tap
away.
that. To being together.
Yes.
Cheers.
No mask. No mask, no mask.
It's hard to believe that just 1 year ago, this would not have been possible.
Can I ask you for the lobster salad?
Crispy polenta, anyone?
This is a veggie option, but it's fried, so I'm going to say yes. Sitting inside a restaurant, eating, drinking, and just being merry with friends who are family seemed an awfully long way away.
There we go, Uncle Al.
But then, 3 months ago, we got vaccinated, and our community started opening back up. I knew things were better when I could sit on your lap.
Yeah.
By the way,
When they let us sit next to each other.
I've always said that.
right? And all of a sudden, once we started moving closer, we were like, look at us, we're on top of each other.
I'll tell you, outside the workspace, your daughter's wedding. And folks were sweating and dancing and singing and hugging.
Everybody was vaccinated.
Yes.
And having you guys there meant the world. It was like a coming out party.
It was.
You know, and it was really terrific. And I was happy to pay for it.
So one of the other big changes, I remember we were talking about a year ago from right now, when literally there was occasionally a nurse walking by. That's all you saw outside.
Oh, yeah.
There was a time when it was just you and our camera operator, Mason, and no one else.
But fast forward to now, you guys, we look outside.
Yeah.
Coldplay was on the plaza.
I don't think we'll take these things for granted anymore, seeing people who come to the plaza or having music out there. Or even the people that we work with. When they started adding back our camera operators, the sound guys, the floor directors,
hair.
the props folks. Yeah, hair and makeup. Let's just light a candle.
Some of us
Raise a
don't
glass.
work.
Hoda, hair and makeup.
Hair and makeup.
And everybody said amen.
You know what I do miss?
What?
I do miss seeing Vale and Charlie.
Oh,
That, I have to say, watching them pop up, literally, it was like so calming, and it felt so at home. I still remember just like
Calming
watching
for you. I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Defense Secretary. Out of here.
Right.
I don't know how you pulled that off.
And by the way, the graphics department.
No,
Jack.
Jack Daly.
Jack
needs-
Daly.
Jack had a little more.
Jack needs an agent. I mean, we get stopped now, and
What?
he's like, "Yo, you're the kid that holds the sign." Like,
Are you serious?
People just
They recognize the arms.
Yeah, he's like, "Look, it's me. That's me."
How did it feel, Carson, when you came back to the studio?
It felt great.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I started to harbor a little bit of guilt. I mean, I love my kids so much, and I felt bad because it came at the cost of a pandemic, where people losing their lives.
Sure.
I was so selfishly happy to be home with my kids because I travel so much. But I didn't move to New York to stay at home and work from home. I moved to be with my colleagues, to be in the environment that excites me and that we're lucky enough to get to do every day.
How are your kids? How did Dell and Sibby do?
Dell and Sibby, we're moving, and day before yesterday, we were going through some papers, and at the beginning of the pandemic, it was suggested that you have kids write letters to, sort of cope with how they're feeling. And Dell wrote a letter, and he said, I forget who it was to, but it said, "Dear blah, 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 please make the pandemic go away. Please have people stop dying. Please have people stop getting sick." And just, puddles. Because we've started to forget just a year ago, like how scary it was for kids especially. We would not have probably gotten through the pandemic had it not been for my wife.
Well, and she got COVID, right?
She did. She had COVID.
Go through that too.
And let me tell you, we took it, we obviously took it very seriously, so we had to sequester her in the room.
Siri got a false positive during this whole thing. She's sequestered in a room, and I have all 4 kids. I was on the phone with the doctor. Who's going to raise my children?
Well, how about yours?
It's just so funny now how they look back at pictures and wonder why we didn't have a mask on before. And we still worry about our kids. They're not vaccinated. They're little and they're running around. But Haley got so used to it. Now we leave and she's like, "Mom, do you have your phone? Do you have a mask?"
Right.
That's what they say.
Oh, yeah. It's incredible how they roll
adapt.
with it. They get used to the mask. The day the CDC said, if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear the mask outdoors. I picked up Bale at the bus stop with no mask. She comes down the bus stops with her mask and she's like, "Mom, where's your mask? Put it on." She's like, she's got a job at the CDC waiting.
There you go. I think everybody's coming out and just feeling good. Like, look, we've come through something, and we're still going through it. But by God, thanks to a whole lot of people, we're able to live like America.
Yeah, I mean, talk about appreciating things you never even thought twice about in your life.
Right.
Like walking to the store with your kid without a mask on, or going to the beach, or getting in the car, getting on a plane.
Like this. Right.
Chill out. Yeah.
Needing breath mints again.
Yes. But we're back, baby. Woo!
We're back.
Cheers to being back.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow.
Oh, by the way, what a blast that was. And that
so fun.
The fried polenta killed at Scotto's. And we do want to thank our good friends, the Scotto family. We kind of took over the restaurant. We nudged into their lunch rush. Fresco by Scotto. It was an amazing day. And J.K. Long really did a beautiful job. Yeah.
Jen and that crew, by the way.
How about a morning boost, guys?
I got you covered. Here we go. A determined 4-year-old girl proving once again, no matter what obstacles face you, you should never give up. So take a look. A little girl from Massachusetts was in a roller skating race with a bunch of older girls. Well, she stumbled out of the gate. But you know what she did? She got up, his dad helped her, and look what happened. She takes off like a rocket.
Yes.
Before you know it, she's in the lead. She held on. She won. That just proves one thing. If you fall, you get up. Dad was right. Wow. And man, she was so excited. She just
Love her.
Go. And that was a hard fall, too.
Man, she did not stop.
Yes.
I love her.
Yeah.
Love her look, love her skates, love her speed, love her sass, the whole thing. Awesome.
All right, we're not sure where the LA Times got this, but they recently named John Stamos one of TV's most underrated actors with the headline reading, "It's time he received his due." And for the record, we just want to go on the record saying we have been on the John Stamos bandwagon since forever.
I have had a poster on him since I was a teenager, okay? So from his early days as Blackie on General Hospital in the 80s to playing the beloved Uncle Jesse on Full House, and then on the follow-up series, Fuller Houser, to John's collaboration with the Beach Boy, John hasn't missed a day of work.
Okay, this is the coolest new chapter in his life. He can add a true crime podcast to his credits. It's called The Grand Scheme, Snatching Sinatra. It's all about the man who kidnapped Frank Sinatra Jr. back in 1963.
Don't we love this? Hi, John.
Juicy.
Okay, first of all, true crime is right up our alley, but so is the Beach Boys. And is it true that you performed with them over the 4th of July?
That's true. Yeah, we were in Fort Lauderdale. And it was a crime because it was so hot.
Well, what I love is not only do you love to perform with the Beach Boys, which we're looking at right now. Oh, my God. That looks like a blast. And what
it's so fun.
How did you
come
on? This is a tradition of sorts. How did this happen?
Well, you mean just me playing with the Beach Boys? Or... Yeah, I started one of the first times I ever played with them was in 1984 at the Monument, and there was 1 million people there, and Jimmy Page was playing guitar, and they just haven't been able to get rid of me after all these years. So I'm just stuck. Yeah, you can't get more patriotic, right? It's the Beach Boys, 4th of July.
Amazing.
You have to shoot apple pie out of a T-shirt cannon or something.
Americana.
Now let's talk about little Billy, because we're in love with your little boy. And he's enjoyed the stage a little bit too, huh?
Well, he's starting to get that ham bone bone. There, that was a beautiful moment because we were playing God Only Knows, and I don't really play anything on that song. So he said, "Dad, can I come on stage?" And he sat back on the drums with me there.
That is magical. That's how you get better. We didn't even need an apple pie.
Yeah.
Wait, John, when we just read that underrated LA Times article, when you read stuff like that, are you like, thanks a lot? Or are you like, okay, you're right, I do deserve my due?
No, thanks a lot. And in reading it too, it was the LA Times, the calendar section. I just remember both my parents. That was their, they were into the LA Times, and I used to clip out, clippings from the calendar section. So reading it was surreal, and I just wish my parents were around to read it. But they're seeing it there.
Oh, that is so sweet. Okay, we're going to get to the podcast in one quick second, but we did want to ask if you've kept up with your former TV niece, Ashley Olsen, because there was a strange, I don't know, image, meme or something that went viral over the weekend. We'll pop it up and just see.
Your reaction. A machete.
She's got a machete and a cocktail. It seems normal. We're not sure.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't talked to them in a while. But maybe is it getting ready for Halloween or something? I don't know. I don't know. I have no comment.
Okay, but let's talk about your podcast, The Grand Scheme, Snatching Sinatra. This is super cool. Tell us how this idea came to you.
Well, my relationship with the Beach Boys, I met Jan and Dean, another surf rock duo. And crazy story, I met at the Orange County Fair about 25 years ago, and Dean Torrance says, "Say, Stamos, do you do any producing?" I was like, "Sure, Dean." I didn't really. And he gave me and he said, "I have the rights to the guy who kidnapped Frank Sinatra Jr." Dean Torrance of Jan and Dean loaned Barry Keenan the seed money to get this thing going. Barry Keenan was at his rock bottom, and what I love about this, not only is it a great true crime story that it has all the twists and turns, but no serial killers, nobody dies. But I say, no one quite gets out alive because, a lot of lives were sort of, tainted by this. I mean, poor Junior never really got a fair shot because, in the trial they made it sound like it was a publicity stunt. Anyway, this guy was at his worst bottom, and he turned on and he was sitting in his car, and on the radio came God and said, "Kidnap somebody if you want to get out of your issues."
Well, I think that, first of all, I think that is totally fascinating. I also think it's fascinating that you sat across from him and talked to them. And some people might think kidnapper, horrible human being, but you saw some kind of redemption there.
Well, this was in '63, so it was a long time ago, and he certainly redeemed himself. He's a big proponent of AA, and he worked a lot with prison reform, and he's a good man, who was. But here's the deal. I mean, it shines a light on mental illness. Back then, there was no talk of this. Swept under the carpet. His mom was mentally ill, tried to commit suicide many times when he was by the age of 7. The poor guy had a lot of bad breaks. But he went to uni high, and he was around all these, Jan and Dean and Ryan O'Neal, and all these young people that became very successful, and he didn't. He always wanted a seat at the big table, I think, and he was going to do anything to get it, and kidnapping Frank Sinatra Jr. was his road. It's a crazy story. It's the most brilliant story that hasn't really been told. I'm sure, a lot of people out there didn't even know Frank Sinatra Jr. Was kidnapped, and one reason was because Frank didn't want it out there, people, I mean, thank God. I mean, I love Frank Sinatra. God bless him. He's my favorite. But if he was alive today, I think I'd be hearing a knock on the door from Vinny Bomorganizzo saying, "Got it, Stamos, no podcast."
Well,
this is fascinating.
It's riveting, and it's funny. I don't think I've ever heard you on a podcast, but you so lean in when you're telling the story. It is so riveting. We want to let people know The Grand Scheme, Snatching Sinatra premieres on July the 27th. Make sure you listen to it. It's wherever you get your podcasts. You can also binge the entire series today. If you subscribe to something called Wondery Plus.
Yeah, go ahead and subscribe to it. Thank you so much, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you both. I'm so happy to see you both, and thank you very much.
Take care.
Ladies, you just finished John Stamos.
Yes.
What we've learned is, first of all, he's amazing. Second of all, he has the best hair in television.
He really does.
Did you see it?
Ever.
No. Ask Sid. Best hair.
Isn't John Stamos' hair?
Best hair ever.
But
No,
also,
he was fluffing it. I wanted to put my hands in it. Like, get in.
You know what else I learned?
What?
He said he was like, sure, I produce. He didn't really produce, but now he's
top.
doing
No one
something
cares
cool.
about- No, hair,
I think
hair,
it's cool that he leaned into something new, Hoda.
see past the hair. Hair.
Today in 30, how good was that? We hope you join us again tomorrow on Today. Chanel is going to introduce us to some members of the U.S. swim team who are ready to make their Olympic debuts.
Oh, have a great day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Today.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.